This week, Croc Legend of the Gobos hits GOG with a remaster. We'll talk about it. Plus, what's the deal with this Steam Deck engineering prototype that just sold on eBay? We'll dig in. And a new update for the Nexus Mods app brings even more cross-platform goodies. All of this and more today. That's right, it's Steam Deck and Linux gaming news time. So, first thing I want to talk about today is this early Valve engineering prototype of the Steam Deck. This just sold on eBay for $3,000, and this gives us some nice close-up images of a Steam Deck prototype that we've actually seen in a very small package. When Valve released the Steam Deck in Asian markets, they released this image to go along with it. And you can see that there's a bunch of prototypes here. These are early designs for the Steam Deck. And there's some wild ones like this over here. What the hell is that? It looks like it's like a modular design, which is pretty neat. There's a bunch of like modular design for controls here, which I find intriguing. Let's just put it that way. And some older ones have even weirder designs, like what is this one or this one? It looks like they were messing around with detachable controllers, like they've got Joy-Con looking ones down here. Anyway, there's a lot of really cool ones on here, and some interesting behind the scenes looks. Well, if we look at r/Steam Deck, you'll see that the user Gary the Meme Machine posted this screenshot along with images from the actual eBay sale. So the first one that I want to talk about is the actual price. This actually sold several days ago, and if you go to that listing now, it just has a regular old looking Steam Deck there. It doesn't look like it's this one anymore. This says it sold April 8th, which was just a few days ago. And you can see that it sold for just shy of $3,000 plus $5 delivery. Also of interest here, it looks like this stick is damaged, and the listing mentioned that there is no operating system installed on this device. But there's other interesting things here as well. The ergonomics look noticeably worse than the final version that we got. There's no like compound curve edge here. You can see the straight edges with shiny plastic is what it looks like over on these sides. There is this kind of chamfer for gripping, but it looks far less prominent, which is probably not the greatest for ergonomics. And notably, round trackpads rather than squircle trackpads. The Steam button is mirrored on both sides, which is interesting, rather than having this one be the quick access menu. The start and display buttons here are also very different from the final design. And it doesn't look like it has capacitive touch for the thumbsticks here either, which is interesting. There's also A, B, and X and Y with different colors on them. And if we go around to the back, the triggers look notably different. I mean, it doesn't look like there's much in terms of like analog movement on the back, which is interesting. And it says engineering sample 34, not for resale, which was clearly ignored. If we look at the top, we can see this image looks distorted, like majorly distorted, but I don't necessarily believe that it is. Because the dimensions of the USB port here, I think this is a wide angle lens probably, so maybe the extremes are a little distorted, but if you look at the back here, they seem to be tapered inwards quite significantly, the triggers and the bumpers. And we can also clearly see that the, would that be the right analog stick, is broken off, like the tip of it. And if we go back to this image, it doesn't look like there's actual like circuitry or anything in there. So it makes me think that this doesn't have capacitive touch, which would be a major missing feature if this had been close to the final prototype. Now, the question is this legit? Because there has been a lot of speculation whether it is or not. So if we go back to this original image here, we can see that it actually looks a lot like this one here. It's very similar. It also kind of looks like this one. there isn't a perfect match on this image, actually. Could be something like that, but you can see it really falls in the family of Steam Deck prototypes. And if we go over to Steam Deck HQ, and if we zoom in, Noah from Steam Deck HQ has actually highlighted the one that has the closest match here, which this is a different version of that image we just looked at. And you can see that it actually has the blue buttons here. This one actually has the analog stick tip on the right one, where the version that sold was busted. But yeah, this looks like a almost perfect match to me. I don't really see a discrepancy between this and the one that was for sale. So fascinating stuff. I mean, absolutely fascinating. I think that this, it would be really neat if someone like Bring a Studio was the one that bought this device so that they could take a look at it and get it working and document it in his humorous way. I really enjoy Bring a Studio's videos. And there's even wilder prototypes on this image. You can see we've got this asymmetrical Borg looking one, and this one is also quite asymmetrical. And this was only like, what, 12 prototypes away from the final product, which is bananas, because the difference, I mean, there's a chasm between this design and the final one that we got. Clearly, it's pretty wild to see. So I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Is this a prototype that you would like to see documented? I know I would love to see it. I'd love to see how different the actual software is. Like if you could install Steam on here and use the controller like normal. I'd imagine that the controller would be quite difficult to get working, but I don't know for sure. All right, next up, let's talk about this, Croc, Legend of the Gobos. This is a game that I played on the PlayStation 1, I believe, back a long time ago when I was a little kid. And man, is this really exciting. The title doesn't say that it's a remaster, but it definitely is. You can see the classic version of Croc, Legend of the Gobos will be automatically added to your library with the purchase of the remaster. And you can see that it comes with the Crocopedia, which is a collection of interviews with many of the Argonaut staff from back when this game was being developed. And if I remember correctly, this was actually a game that Argonaut pitched to Nintendo to be a Yoshi game. I think they even built a prototype to show Nintendo, and Nintendo rejected it, and so they turned it into Croc. Now this looks pretty nice, and I'm actually really interested to try it out. I don't know if it's going to live up to my memory of this game, because a lot of games from this era are very hard to control, although they do call out in this trailer that the controls have been enhanced for modern audiences, which is something that's kind of critical for a remaster of a game from this era. If I remember correctly, it had tank controls. I don't think it had analog controls. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give this game a shot. I really do love 3D platformers. So yeah, let me know what you think about this down in the comments. You can also find me on the Fediverse. I'm on Mastodon, I'm on PeerTube, I'm even on PixelFed now. I've been very happy over on the Fediverse, and I hope you'll join me over there because it's a lot of fun and it's a different experience from traditional social media. I also have a blog that I started recently. You can head over to blog.gardinerbryant.com. There'll be a link down in the description where I just kind of talk about any of the things that interest me, including Linux gaming and game development, Fediverse stuff. I'm a huge nerd, so if you are too, you'll find some interesting content over there for sure. And Argonaut. I mean, they're the guys behind the original Star Fox, Star Fox 2, even the Super FX chip for the Super Nintendo. And the fact that they've been defunct for, what is it, like 20 years almost, and now they're back with a remaster of Croc, which was one of their definitive games, at least from my childhood. Now it's time for Deals of the Week, where we review some of the hottest deals that will help you grow your library. And let me tell you, I have a hell of a deal for you right now. The complete Oddworld collection is now available for $1 over on Fanatical. This is an absolute steal. It comes with Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Munch's Odyssey, Stranger's Wrath, Abe's Exodus, New and Tasty, Alf's Escape DLC. It comes with the Scrub Abe costume DLC, and it comes with Oddworld Soulstorm Enhanced Edition. This is $85 worth of games for just $1. Unbeatable deal right now. It's like 98% off or something. I'm a huge Oddworld fan. I played the hell out of Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus on the original PlayStation. And I played another one on the Xbox. I think it was Munch's Odyssey. So I've been playing these games for a very long time. I believe I reviewed New and Tasty on this channel a long time ago as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about this, and I'm going to be picking this up. It's $1. And if you use my links in the description, it'll help this show out with no additional cost to you, because it is, in fact, an affiliate link. All right, next up, we have a Proton hotfix from Pierre-Loup Griffet. Proton hotfix has been deployed to work around a crash introduced by the Monster Hunter Wilds update. This is pretty neat to see. So it's pretty great to see how quickly Valve can get out Proton updates, especially when you consider that they're responding in real time to game updates that are being pushed out by developers who literally don't care, like at all, about the Steam Deck or compatibility with Linux and Proton. So the fact is they're releasing these hotfixes, testing them quickly in Proton Experimental, and then updating the main branch so that the widest audience can play the games that they're most interested in on the Steam Deck. I think that deserves a lot of recognition for sure. All right, next up we have the Nexus Mods App. This is a big deal. So this includes a bunch of UI enhancements for the mod manager. So it's improving the user experience by separating mods and collections of mods into different tabs. And it's also improving the discovery of collections that are installed on your machine. And you can see here from the screenshots that any collection that hasn't been fully installed will have a new icon next to the collection. And they specifically call out the fact that the library was becoming cluttered on small displays like the Steam Deck, which is great to see because mod management on Linux is kind of a pain in the ass, especially when you're dealing with games that have like native Linux builds versus games that are installed through Proton, where prefixes can be very confusing for people who don't understand what's going on. And you're also going to be using games that are installed through Heroic, or maybe just installed as standalone titles. So having a native Linux mod manager that can deal with all of those layers of abstraction and weirdness. So it's really neat to see them calling out that issue here and supporting smaller displays, low resolution displays, and the like. And finally, I want to mention a change to the Steam Deck beta client that happened last week that I somehow missed. There's a small but interesting beta client update that happened on April 3rd. And what this does is it allows the UI scale slider to be displayed even when no external display is attached to the device, which means that you can now set the UI scale for the internal display, which is something you couldn't do before, or if you could, it was convoluted. So I think that's pretty much it for this week's Steam Deck news. If I missed something, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I want to thank the sustaining members of this channel who make what I do here a reality. If you believe in the work that I'm doing, you can use the links below to become a premium subscriber. It's all greatly appreciated. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.